cards. We're going to roll the dice so that we know how many times we're going to press the randomizer when we get all the names in it right now. So it came up 9 on the dice. And Lou, for those, because we know we've had a lot of new folks in the last few weeks, both on the Vintage Breaks PSA show and our regular Vintage Breaks show on YouTube, I want to take a moment to explain to everyone how our process works. So we take the names, Lou, and in this case, there's 12 different names. Well, to be fair, 12 names. So sometimes folks buy more than one spot. So for example, David L. has bought several spots, so his name appears several times. But in totality for the 1979 Topps pack, there's 12 names. We just rolled the dice 9 times. We're now going to go ahead and press the randomize button 9 times. And what the gentleman from the Baltimore Sun found so fascinating, he said, wow, Leighton, it's really like, very straightforward. And I said, well, what'd you think? We just randomly chose like, hey, my good buddy Lou's going to get spot 7, hint, hint. We can't do that. You want to make sure that everyone, believes in what we're doing and understands that it is totally random. And so that particular day, just a few weeks ago at this point, Chris R. was lucky enough to get spot 19. And for those of you who have been with Vintage Breaks for a while now, they know that spot 19 or pack 19 was the first ever Michael Jordan rookie card that we got out of the 1986 Fleer box that we opened last year. I couldn't have said it any better. Like, there would have been pandemonium, but there would have been 17 more cards left to go, and I don't think I could have done it. Lou, when you put it like that, I tell you, I got to take a deep breath. You're right. I'm not sure what would have happened. I probably would have had to give in some refunds because the cards, I would have been throwing them everywhere. Okay, so without further ado, we have our list. Eric V gets the first card. That'll be underneath the gum. The last card coming out will be David. He gets right there. And what we've started doing, this is how busy we are at VintageBreaks.com. We're not going to just tell you the pack that we're opening, which is a 1979 Topps baseball pack. We're also going to tell you the number of it. So, for example, if we sell out several 1979 Topps packs, well, it's our internal number. So in other words, this is pack 117, but to explain to people, this is the 117th 1979 Topps baseball pack that we've opened. Pretty cool. Listen, that's why I'm kind of doing it slow here. Lou, we work together great as a team. I figured that if we get something interesting, maybe we can share a stat or two with everyone. That would be a lot of fun. Hey, Lou, while we have a minute, we're getting started. I don't think we've ever formally announced, but what is the name of your serious show about fantasy baseball? Very cool. Yep. That's amazing. And Lou, is this something that you have a lot of fun with doing? Wow. What's that? What was... Sure. Sure. Well, Lou, when does your show start up again, and what day of the week is it, and what time? Yes, it does. So what I'm hoping that Lou's going to be able to do for me, folks, this year is that, listen, I'm not a great fantasy baseball player anyway. With the lack of time between family and business and personal, I've really been tanking it. If my good buddy Matt's listening, I'm sorry, man. Yeah, I've been terrible like the last 2 years. I'm hoping to, quote unquote, have a secret weapon, and I'm just going to call you Lou. We're not going to give them your last name. And what I'm hoping, Lou, is that you can help me get back to fantasy baseball glory. What's that? Wow. Oh, listen, that's really cool. That's great. Well, listen, I like it a lot. It's a great option. Thanks so much. And, really, I can't wait till baseball season approaches and football season is right around the corner. Listen, we do obviously open packs on the show. And we're about to open the 79, but seems like we kind of cover a lot of different bases here, Lou. I like it. It's fun. Absolutely. Okay, so we're going to be busting this pack open. Remember, card number 1 is Eric's. That's on the other side. So you're staring at card number 12. And if I'm not mistaken, is this Rick Russell's brother? Wow, because Rick Russell wasn't that good. For his brother to be, by the way, just look like, is this not a 1970s baseball player? Like, look at those, like, my dad has those glasses. The only thing different than this guy and my dad is that my dad didn't play baseball. Listen, 100%. Yeah. So, okay, I'm gonna get down to business here. Bump Wills. I think this is an interesting card because, if I'm not mistaken, it's one of very few in the 1979 top set that has a variation. Yeah. I think it's the Blue Jays and the Rangers, if I'm not mistaken. But we could certainly Google that and probably have the answer in 0.7 seconds. Yep. So that was, great. That was the first card. That is Eric. David Levy, you get the next couple. Andy Ashby. Okay, so this is great. Perfect example of why you need to be looking out for commons. Let's see the centering on this. Looks to me like a 9+. I'm sorry? Yeah, well, listen, I think it's, what do they say? If you do something for 3,000 hours, you're an expert. I've been doing this a long time, and it's a lot of fun. So, yep. See, look at this gorgeous card of a prospect. Now, there's no great prospect on here, but once again, we know using PSA's pop report, if this is a low pop, then you potentially have a good one here. But look at that; it's basically perfectly centered all around, razor sharp corners. Hey, John, do you want to check it out when you have a chance? Card number 725 from the 1979 Topps baseball set. And, for example, like, they have 2 of them listed as a Padre, but yet Broderick Perkins, unless that's a San Diego Padres minor league affiliate, that looks like a Houston. Maybe I'm wrong. That's true. Oh, so this is why our community is so great on Vintage Breaks, YouTubers. So, first, Paul Russell is Rick's brother. They were both on the Cubs for a year or two. And then Bump Wills, the card was the Blue Jays era card. That was what they were talking about with that Bump Wills card. Yes, and at some point they, obviously changed it. This is interesting.
You need the power report?
Yeah.
9 or 10?
10s.
31 10.
Okay, so that card is not a particularly tough 10. There's 31 10s. So if I had to guess, it's probably about a $50 10, roughly speaking. But someone spent $6.50 on this, so they still got a chance at making some money, which is great. All right, card number 4 is going out to Mark. We got a checklist here, and as a lot of folks know, especially on the 50s and 60s checklists, a lot of people use them. So finding unmarked high-grade checklists from that time period are not that easy. Yep. Now, someone was just mentioning that the year Gwen almost hit 400, they remembered, so we have to verify it, that they think he needed 2 hits in the last game to do it, but that he came up short. I don't remember it that clearly. I don't know. Please share with me, because I think I've heard it before, but I think it's pretty good. Yep, and he didn't. I tell you, it gives me goosebumps just hearing it again. This is another gorgeous one. Once again, is Dan Briggs of anyone to speak of? No. However, if you want to check, John, if you don't mind, card number 77. Wow. Now, this is not a good card, nor is it centered. But look at that hairdo. What was he really thinking? I get it. It's Saturday morning. You're not playing ball. Totally cool. But he had to know he was being pictured. He was being photoed. Yeah, something like that. So, by the way, and obviously I'd have to take a better look at the Dan Briggs, off air. But this card only has, there we go, try to center it for you, only has 9 PSA 10s. And so what's kind of interesting, too, to try to figure out, let's say you have the PSA 10, maybe get the 10th one. If you want to know how many people would be interested, just go to the PSA set registry on psacard.com, and you can actually sort by year. You can find out how many people actually have an active 1979 top set that they're working on. So the data that PSA has now on their site is incredible. Very much so, yes. So that's another cool thing. You bring up a great point, Lou. That just because there's a few out there in PSA 10, it doesn't mean that the collector or collectors that are high up in the registry have had a chance yet to buy that card, because there's still a lot of collectors that don't put their cards on the registry. Card number 9. So you can see the centering has turned a little worse in this pack, but it could turn on a dime any moment. That's going out to Mark. David has the... Oh, there we go. First Hall of Famer. Actually, second, because I thought we got Phil... Oh, we got Phil Niekro in the other pack. This is a Joe Morgan. I've had a PSA 10 of this card before. I don't remember the pop on it, but this one, it was a little bit off center top to bottom. So if I had to guess, probably a 9 OC. Interesting. J.R. Richards, sure. He was a great pitcher. Now, I don't know that much about J.R. Richards, but I'm curious if you do. Was he dominant for a short period of time? Did he get hurt? What was his deal? Okay, I thought that might have been the case. And there, as you saw when we opened the pack, there's your Paul Russell card 12. So, briefly, these are your 1979 Topps pack. You got a few commons that are gradable. You do have a Hall of Famer in Joe Morgan, but as you can see, probably wouldn't submit that to PSA only because it's likely to garner a grade of PSA 9 OC with the qualifier. Still a solid pack of cards. Wow. So after he had a stroke in 1980, did he ever play pro ball again? Wow, that's really interesting. Yeah, that's certainly not a common occurrence. Well, it was a slightly different game back then. Now I know you got a bunch of stats you're looking at, so we got a few minutes left. I'd like to do a second giveaway if we can. I'm going to keep this one pretty simple. There's a card show this weekend in New York. I said the city that it's in earlier on the show. It is run by Jimmy and Brian and takes place this Friday and Saturday. What city? And by the way, Gloria Rothstein ran a show in this same city. So for those folks who've been around a while, first person on Facebook who nails that question is going to get this 1984 Donruss pack for free. Very popular year because the Don Mattingly rookie PSA 10 sells for a solid $500 plus and has been trending upward about the last year or so. John, you got a winner?
Joey Emerson.
Okay.
Joey, yeah.
White Plains, yep. Great. So Joey Emerson won. He said White Plains, New York. That was the correct answer. Our good friends JSP Sports Promotions, Jimmy and Brian, will be running that show this weekend. I'm hoping to get some basketball cards autographed. They have some great players there. Anyone from Lawrence Taylor to Earl Monroe. Wes Unseld was there one time. Artis Gilmore. They have a lot of baseball grades. Jim Palmer's been there. Really looking forward to the show. I think they've had Frank Thomas. So anyway, I know we don't have a lot of time. I'm going to try to bust this real fast. There's some errors and variations in this set, Lou, that are really cool. I don't know them all, but if you look on psacard.com at the set registry, there is an incredible amount of people that are trying to complete this set in PSA 10. So we're going to run through this pack real fast to see. There we go. I got a really well-centered Broad Perkins. So I don't know the pop on that. There you go. Willie McGee was a great hitter, right? Oh, I got excited. I thought I saw a rated rookie, but it was that's the Yankee. That's Don Mattingly, like the color of the cards. Frank Tanana. I think Eric Tanana has become religious, if I'm not mistaken. I do. I think he's religious. Gene Richards. Oh, Jay Johnstone. Wasn't he, he did that baseball show, if I'm not mistaken? Very popular. Oh, wow. So that free pack went to Joey Emerson. And what we started to make a tradition the last minute or two of the show, and you guys will let me know when time is up. But it's been a lot of fun this episode. We're going to try to show off some of the new packs that we have listing to the site. And before we go through those,